I'm Leo Khoury, I'm a family business advisor, and I do come from my own 3-generation family business. Yes, and there's a lot of experience and generational knowledge packed into my services just for you. Now, if you are, someone who works a corporate job, not in your own family business, you're probably going to be watching this. However, if you really want to understand the complexities and the issues that come up with family businesses, then feel free to hit that subscribe button down below and watch future videos to come, because you might decide that you don't want to launch a family business of your own, or you might say, hey, maybe I will launch a family business and hire Leo down the road. That being said, if you are part of your own family business, then this video is very much for you. So let's start off with some statistics, and we will start with the macro and move down to the micro specific of what we're talking about today. So in terms of the macro, big picture, 80% of the global GDP on average, so between 70 and 90, are from family businesses. Now, that being said, when we talk about generational transfers, so how many businesses succeed in transferring successfully from the first generation to the second generation? Only 30%. That's it, only 30. Now, how many succeed from the second to the third? Only 12%. And you can begin to imagine how small the success rate decreases after that, and how small it gets. That being said, I want to talk about a study by one of these big 4 companies about family businesses, saying that 60%, 60, what a big number, of family business owners are uninterested in taking over their business. Now, while I can see uninterested as a label, I think, at least 50%, it's not that they're uninterested. What I think is that they're misaligned. And I'm willing to take a big gamble, actually such a big gamble, that my entire business is dedicated to helping those who are misaligned with their family businesses. So the top 3 problems that we face, and yes, I was one of those misaligned family business members, kind of lost between having my experience in multinationals, being able to serve companies of 500 plus multinationals across borders, remote teams, international, multicultural teams. Yes, that's my background. All right. Versus my family business, which is peaked in its market size and capacity. So unless we make a big investment to go into another market or expand significantly larger amount of products, then the organization size is far below where I can really add the most impact to the family business. And that kind of ambiguity left me doing sales. My HR background didn't require 24/7 focus. So I had to do sales, I had to do a little marketing, I had to do a little bit of logistics, I had to do a bunch of stuff that I don't want to do, and I was not happy, not satisfied doing it. And my family, they did their best to help me feel comfortable. And the thing is, I got to the point where I started honestly applying to jobs endlessly. So the first problem on that note is finding a career elsewhere outside of the family business. And I prefer that that's not the first option. The first option should always be finding where you belong in the family business. Because honestly, if you can find the right place for you in a family business, it comes with some perks, I'm not gonna lie. But if you have that ambiguity, it gets bad. It gets toxic, honestly. Not just for you, for everyone. So, we talk about the first one, I want to say careers. All right, so what is a problem with being a family business owner, applying to jobs outside the family business? Family business stigma on your resume. And what are you going to do? Erase those years that you worked there? Why would that disappear? How are you going to justify not having those years on your resume to an HR person? So you're going to admit it. I worked in my family. I have experience 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As an HR person who's never worked in a family business, doesn't understand what it takes to work in a family business, they're going to think this kid's spoiled. All the leadership titles he's ever had are simply due to the nature of being an owner at his family business. Sure, they might be right on occasion. but they need to give us a chance either way, right? I mean, that's only fair. Well, life ain't fair, buddy. So the next one, what's another excuse that they do? They say, oh, this guy comes from a family background and heritage and God knows what, but you don't have a family with food to feed. Do they not realize that you stop getting a salary when you leave the family business? It's not just like, oh, we're just going to keep paying all your bills. No. And trust me, most of the time, dividends don't cut all your bills, dude. So yeah. The third thing, unfortunately, is, and this is kind of messed up, is they'll host your interview and be very condescending because they think you're actually overqualified and you're a threat to their position. They'll be very condescending. They'll ask you loaded questions just to come up with any excuse to reject your application. Yeah, all those things happen to me. So the trick, the first one, as a certified career coach, is I'm going to try to leverage that, plus my background as an executive search consultant, to see if we can modify your job application strategy, your job hunt strategy, to get the right role and overcome these stigmas that we face. The second one, what's the second issue we face as a family member? If the right path for us ends up being building a business. And I wish to God I would have saved so much money and not lost a lot of money if I had someone like me around. I would have made a lot less mistakes. Anyways, I am here to make sure if launching a business is the right path for you and it is supported by the family, it doesn't have to be financially. You can get financing from anywhere. There's many ways to get financing. What I'm saying is emotionally, are they prepared to let you go and launch your own thing? Are they going to be supportive morally? They don't need to give you money. You don't want their money. If they do give you money, make sure that terms and conditions are clearly defined and they only give you as much as they're willing to lose. That is a rule for sure. When you do try to launch a business, there's many ways of doing it. There's many frameworks that you can use to make sure you don't forget essential things. You got to think about marketing, organization, how your pricing plays into your strategy, how your pricing plays into your profitability and your finances. Any idea you have without proper finances, it's all nothing. It's just ideas. You may as well just publish a book. And you can probably make more money from that than trying to launch a business without financing. All right. So yeah, I'm here to make sure that you build it right. And that means even if we got to bootstrap your business, sorry, stutter. Even if you got to bootstrap your business, I got you. Now, I don't like talking this much. Trust me, in the coaching sessions that I do, you do most of the talking. For me, my mouth is already getting dry. I'm dying to get a sip of water, but we're almost done. So I'm just going to, rough it through. Yeah, all right. So the next one, and the last one, is finding your right place in the family business. If you're dead set on staying in the family business, and your family is happy to have you there and work with you. And yes, we are going to be working with your family. And yes, we are going to be having the hard discussions that you've been avoiding. Because there's no way around it if you want to stay there. Yeah. And no, it's not easy. And honestly, I can't say that it was easy for me either. I mean, for me to choose to leave the business, I had to talk to them a bit. There was a pull and a push and a God knows what for years before I ended up where I am now. That being said, we got it. There's ways to do it. I have frameworks for you, governance frameworks, which normally you would pay a lot of money for. Now, mine is just a boilerplate workbook that you work through. My coaching comes in the form of making sure that you fill that workbook to its accuracy. I ask you questions. I make sure that whatever you're trying to do is aligned with you as an individual, because nothing is worse than launching a multinational when you intended to just have a small, doctor's style business clinic. And that's it. Yeah. Like me, I decided I don't want employees if I can help it. Eventually, I'm sure I'm going to have to hire a couple. But for now, the most I would stand for is a secretary to do my booking appointments and to coordinate with the housekeeping business that comes and helps clean the office from time to time. That's it. I don't want more than that. That's me. That's a personal preference. So why would I build a business in any other shape, way, or form? We got to adapt to you. And that's it. Family business is complex, and it's got generational cultural issues that I can talk about for 20 years. And I'm here to help, honestly. Especially I'm here to help the people who are misaligned. And as a consequence, we are going to have to talk about your family governance if you choose to stay there. We're going to have to go through, I might have to take on your whole family, and we might have to talk to each of them individually one at a time and go through coaching processes with each of them to make sure that, the way we communicate with each other is respectful and compartmentalizing between the little younger brother, the older sister versus the professional that I see in front of me. And I need to respect their experience and their credentials and their education and what they bring to the table. And we need to make room for that. If you're going to stay on board, you may as well make a big impact. And you can't make a big impact if people don't make room for you. That's it. I'm happy to take you on. I'm happy to meet with you. If you are interested in learning more, you can visit the link below. And there's also a link in the comments where you can schedule a free 15-minute confidential Google Meets call with me, and we can talk about the details together. And I hope to either get some subscriptions, wink, wink, subscribe, or even better, let's have a chat. I will be in touch. Have a good one. Stay tuned for the following episodes. Peace.